With a knack for creative gardening on a budget, Master Gardener Link Davidson knew just how to help out his neighbor, Wendy Brennan, in her tiny garden just beyond his driveway.
We've been neighbors now for almost 10 years. March will mark my 10th anniversary in the neighborhood, and we've been very good friends. In fact, I would say she's like a sister to me. And she had talked for a while of having something done in her yard, but she wanted something very zen, very minimal. And my idea was to create a sort of a minimal space with a natural space encroaching into that minimal space. So we worked over the course of a year, going back and forth with ideas, and one shovel at a time, one trencher rental at a time, one hot day after another brought us to this. It was a long process. In fact, it really did take about a year for this to evolve. I always say, you've got to let the time take its course and allow the garden to speak to you, to let you know what it really wants to be.
One gritty job was to excavate the bamboo that was marching from the back of their properties.
I rented a trencher, and in the middle of June 2009, 108-degree day, I believe, I trenched up the front yard from one end to the other and trenched it to break up the root. The bamboo had actually encroached almost to the driveway from its position in the back of the space. I trenched it all up, let it sit in the sun for a few days, and then I came back in and trenched it again and let it set in the sun. And a little at a time, it died away, and I picked it up a root at a time and hauled it off.
To fend off the rest of it, Link poured a 2-foot concrete barrier underground.
I trenched by hand with a pickaxe very deep to the point of finding a shelf of caliche. In my experience, I've not found bamboo wanting to go through caliche, so I always feel secure once I hit the caliche shelf. And once I hit that and exposed it, then I put in a concrete mix to create a stop for the bamboo.
Link's creative, low-cost response to Wendy's boring concrete sidewalk came just in time.
When I was wrestling with what to do with that sidewalk, my initial thought was to jackhammer it out and take it all away, but that was going to be quite a mess. So what I did instead was rent a concrete saw and cut it into blocks and move it all around until I got what I thought looked more or less like a random placement of the various size stones. Believe it or not, the bamboo root had actually made its way under the sidewalk and was coming over to the side. Had I not moved the sidewalk, perhaps that bamboo would have come back from under the concrete at some point.
Rather than haul off another piece of sidewalk, Link gave it a new address. Other chunks stand up to slow down runoff from the back steep grade above Link and Wendy's gardens. Link softened the severe drop with a berm, replacing Wendy's withering grass with botanical and wildlife depth. He built a fence to frame Wendy's space and to screen her view of his driveway with vines. But the first hard rain meant a few revisions, like carving out a dry creek bed.
The garden let me know initially that I had not taken care of the slope appropriately, because after a really heavy rain in the process, a lot of the mounding, the berming, washed down. So I had to readdress the issue, bringing rock in to anchor everything in its place. Today we have a situation where the dry creek bed takes any overflow from the terrace in my own yard next door, bringing the water down through Wendy's space, across her driveway, to a drainage area on the other side of her driveway. There is a plastic sheeting under there to keep the water from going in too much. There are holes in that plastic sheeting to allow some of the water to spill through, but I didn't want the water just to pool up. I wanted it actually to flow to the area to the other side of the driveway, where a rain garden eventually is going to capture that water and encourage even more growth.
He culled his hoard of stones from friends and finds for the right choice and placement.
In fact, just to position a few stones can take a few hours sometimes to get that random look. But everything is placed one stone at a time. It's not just dropped in place.
Ever resourceful, Link repurposed the box store air conditioner screens he'd nabbed on a blowout sale.
So what I did was take them and using some chain link fencing material created a series of random screens to block my tenant's view from Wendy and vice versa. It also creates the sense of a room, I think, so that there is a place for one to feel more enclosed in that one little area. Also, it serves as a visual backdrop to the garden so that the eye has something to stop on.
It took a lot of sweat to bring this hydraulic press back from his dad's ranch. He's debated about whether to leave its coral red primer or strip it off to let it rust.
That's just it. The longer something sits and the longer I'm able to look at it, it could tell me that it doesn't want to be rusty. And I believe Wendy has said herself that she prefers the red, so it may just stay that way.
Rusty is just the touch, though, with Link's hand-picked roadside garden sculpture finds that now strike attention instead of pilot lights. To favor a gathering spot even in a small space, Link built a deckette. Box door sunshades shade it and the house. Shade rules, though, at Wendy's doorstep. Formerly an overgrown mess that hid the doorway, Link hacked it out for a cleaner, more inspirational, and safer passage. He and Wendy aren't finished yet. A garden, like a friendship, ever evolves.
I think most true gardeners will tell you a garden is never complete, that it is constantly evolving. And yet, the idea of taking a great while to finish a project sometimes flies in the face of Americanism, I suppose. The idea that one has to get things done quickly or you're not doing a good job. It's something that I struggle with all the time in myself, because I too would like things to just magically appear and be done with. But I don't think with gardening that will ever be the case. As successful gardeners, we will always be changing, listening to what works, listening to what the garden is telling us to make it a better place. And two, I don't think gardening would be as exciting if we just stopped and said it's done. Most of my gardener friends never have a point at which they're not working in their gardens. There's always something changing. And I think, again, that ear for what the garden tells us is really important. Don't rush things. Let them evolve. And sometimes I think we evolve along with the gardens.